Hi everyone, Pete and Grady here from the Purple House.
Hello everyone.
Welcome to our information night again. And tonight we want to revisit Candida because it's something that 9 out of 10 people suffer from symptoms of Candida, and that is most likely you as well. So we want to share a little bit of the stuff that we see in our clinic.
That 9 out of 10 is according to Theresa Schumacher, who wrote a book on Candida the Silent
It's
Killer.
called Candida The Sure Killer. I'll put a link in here so you can buy the book yourself if you want to.
She was present with a lot of autopsies that showed a lot of white mucousy stuff around organs and so on, and that was Candida.
So, okay, Peter's going right for the kill, but let's backpedal a little bit, okay. So Candida is present in everyone's body. We're born with it, and it's there to create vitamin B in our large bowel and so on. But the problem starts when Candida changes from a yeast into a fungus. And when Theresa says 9 out of 10 people have Candida problems, that means that now
It's become a fungal.
the yeast has become a fungal problem, and that fungus goes through your bloodstream and it sets up home or residence in different parts of your body, for instance, right through your nervous system, around your spinal cord, in your brain, and that causes brain fog, brain fatigue, slow reactions, you lose your reflexes, you feel old before your time, you're crabby, moody. I'm just starting with the brain because that's an easy one to remember because I see that so often. So brain fog means like it's as if your thoughts are, that you have to wade through thick fog. It's misty in there.
We have read articles suggesting that Candida is the culprit also for dementia.
That's right.
Alzheimer's.
That's right, because apparently the brain creates a kind of a coating around itself, which is seen as Alzheimer's, but it's really in an effort to protect itself from Candida, the fungal thing.
And when people have lots of coconut oil, that's got an antifungal quality, then Alzheimer's improves.
That's right. You need 6 tablespoons of coconut oil per day to reverse Alzheimer's. And articles have been written on that too, so you can Google that and successfully reversed Alzheimer's. But anyway, if you want to give your body a boost in the right direction, cook with coconut oil and have it liberally in your food. Like if you have soups and so on, you can put it in your drinks.
Smoothies.
Yeah, because it's also really good for your brain and for your heart.
The best fuel that you can give your cells and your brain.
But anyway, let's get back to Candida. So I have to keep Peter on track here. He's pulling me in all sorts of directions. So Candida can sit in your nervous system. Your brain sits around the tissues of your body, making you sluggish and sets up inflammation. And then that's the fungus. But the third stage is the scary one. That's when the fungus turns itself into a tumor, like a cancerous tumor or a benign tumor. But we're always worried about cancer because 1 in 3 people will get cancer in their lifetime or diagnosed with it. However, in laboratories, they've been able to do the reverse cycle as well. So they've had cancer tumors that they reduced back to the Candida fungus, which then they reduced back to the yeast and to a harmless yeast. So our bodies can do that too. But first of all, you need to know what your enemy is. You need to know what you're dealing with. Because people will sometimes say to us, well, our body can heal itself. I would believe my body can heal itself. That's probably one extreme of the spectrum you get to see. But we always say, yes, your body can heal itself when you give it what it needs. And then we have the other end of the spectrum, like with clients, where people believe their bodies can never heal themselves or do anything, and they totally rely and say on antibiotics and other things. So we want you to be somewhere in the middle where you have a healthy belief in your body and also you use your rational brain and know what you're dealing with and give your body what it needs. So what are some other symptoms of Candida, Pete? I just want Pete to tell you a bit more.
Well, one of the main ones is the brain fog, but aches and pains, and
bloating.
It puts a lot of strain on our liver, and because it has a lot of toxins, and our liver's responsible for getting rid of those toxins.
Yeah, because it creates about 110 different toxins that have like an alcohol-like effect, like formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. I can't even pronounce it. It's like you become your own walking brewery. Your body is brewing all these toxins that are coming out of your ears virtually.
Well,
makes you very irrational.
Formaldehyde is actually used to preserve body parts in a laboratory. But we don't want to really be preserving our body. We want it living.
No, we want our body we want our dead cells, sick and old cells to die, and new cells to come on board, because every 11 months you have a new body. So you want fresh cells to appear all the time.
You need to be giving it the things it needs to make good cells with.
So actually, Pete, tell us about formaldehyde and the American soldiers in the Vietnam War.
Apparently in the Vietnam War, the American soldiers, when they were killed in the jungle, they would often take 4 to 5 days before they started decomposing, whereas the Vietnamese, if they were killed, they'd start decomposing within about 24 hours. So back in the 60s, when the Vietnam War was on, the Americans were probably full of Candida at that point in time.
And it's even more so now.
It's more so now because antibiotics are used a lot. They do save lives, but they don't create good health.
Yeah, but the American soldiers didn't have formaldehyde from antibiotics. They had it from their, rations, which would have been Coke probably. We know in the Iraq War, the soldiers came home with Coke diseases, autoimmune disorders from Coke.
Well, it was the sugar-free was the...
Yeah, sugar-free Coke is horrendous for your body. Anyway, so the American soldiers, they probably lived on carbohydrates and Coke and white bread. So that's
sugars feed yeasts is where we're heading. So Western-style diet, we've all been brought up as bread as our staple food, which all carbohydrates turn to sugar. So if you don't eat much food that turns to sugar, then you're not feeding that yeast or fungus, the Candida. So to get most of our fuel out of fats is a way to starve Candida of its fuel source. And cancer cells live exactly the same. They feed on sugars. So we recommend everyone to go follow the low-carb, high-fat food list. We have it in our wellness guide.
You can download it. I'll put the link in here. It's a free ebook. So download it, and it comes with recommendations actually that will help kill Candida, but it's not specifically just about Candida. It's helping you to have a really healthy lifestyle. On the orange page of that food list, which is have with caution, it does have some fruit, which I always, when people come to me, I put a cross through that. Yeah, so this cross that one out. I write a little recipe beside it how you can ferment your fruit, and that's building up the good intestinal bacteria. Fermented foods, they build up our good intestinal bacteria and keep Candida in check in the gut. And this is low carb, high fat ideas on that page, and this page tells you what to absolutely avoid. Because red means the stoplight, the traffic light's on red, because if you go through it, you'll have an accident. So Candida is about accidents happening 24/7 in your body, and you may not be know that it's happening. So I'll quickly tell you some other really common problems: low energy, moodiness, grumpiness, absent-mindedness, skin rashes, skin issues. And the low energy, inflammation. The low energy is because the Candida is slurping up your sugars if you're relying on sugars for energy. It's also eating everything on the inside to keep itself alive. And Candida will also cause you to reach for sugar. So like you think you're in charge of your arms when you open the fridge door, but it's actually Candida that's in charge of your arms, and it's dictating your movements, so you reach for the chocolate or the cake.
Another thing that we often come across is people with chronic sinusitis, and that's often caused by a Candida spore up in the sinuses, causing the...
I feel like snorting suddenly.
Causing the mucous lining to react like crazy. So I just recently had a client ask about their son who had chronic sinus problems. They thought it was hay fever, but he had been on antihistamines. I suggested he just sniff a little bit of 3%
hydrochloric acid.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Not hydrochloric acid.
Hydrogen peroxide, 3%. It stings like crazy for about 10 seconds, but he's had clear sinuses, sleeping soundly.
And you get that from the chemist.
He wasn't before, and it's,
Are we allowed to talk about that now or not?
His mum is really grateful.
Yeah.
And
so
he is too.
What is it called? Let me get it right. Hydrogen peroxide, 3%.
H2O2. It breaks down to water and oxygen.
Yeah, so we had a complaint about that with our previous Facebook Live, that somebody complained about the hydrogen peroxide to say that it's harmful, but it isn't, because inside your body it just breaks down into water and oxygen.
So it oxygenates your body, and oxygen knocks viruses, bacteria and fungi on the head.
Yeah, and it gives you lots of energy. So we have to be really careful what we say. So if you want to know more, you can book in for a session and we can give you the full Monty. So Candida gets a foothold in our body due to antibiotics, sugars, Western lifestyle, stress, and also the contraceptive pill, and even pregnancy. So that really upsets the balance of your good bacteria versus the yeast and so on. So actually, we want to show you some products that really work, that have worked for thousands of our clients, because we've been dealing with this problem now for 20 years, probably in our clinic.
There's immunosymbiotic immune power, has specific good probiotics to get Candida under control in the gut. Yeah,
and it's not cheap, $75, but it definitely does the trick. It heals and seals your gut, so you start building yourself up from the inside, from the deepest layer inside out. 4 capsules a day.
Another product which the title says it all, Yeast X.
Kills the yeast.
Our all-time favourite that our thyroid needs to produce proper thyroxine, and which sets our metabolism, but every cell of the body needs it.
And it kills Candida.
It's the strongest antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal agent there is, and they don't become resistant to it.
So that's good. Synthol, which is one of our all-time favorites as well, and also that's $60. So these are really high-end products that do the trick, and this one as well.
And those are specific ones with specific bacteria, but if you really want to include
change your life,
change your lifestyle and your diet, have a spoonful of this type of food every day.
A tablespoon?
Tablespoon a day with your main meal, or
we do that every day.
If you have eggs for breakfast, you can have it with your eggs. People ask me sometimes, what do you have your eggs on? And I say, on the plate.
In other words, not on toast.
Not on toast, because toast, the flour out of one slice of bread is turning into 6 teaspoonfuls of sugar. So it feeds the yeast, feeds the Candida. Sauerkraut,
kimchi.
You lace your eggs and sauerkraut with a lot of olive oil as well, so you're getting a lot of oil as your fuel source rather than sugars. And Caleb, he's doing a fermenting class very shortly on the 22nd from 9:30 to 12:30, 3-hour class where you have hands-on tuition from the master himself.
Caleb cured himself. He healed his own body from psoriasis, which he was actually born with, by the way. So he's always had a tendency to have psoriasis and low energy and hay fever and swollen sinuses and so on. And he's like completely free now because, he's the owner of Love Your Guts.
And
he makes that.
He makes it and he eats it
and
every day.
And he has like all different kinds of fermented foods every day. And he's never been healthier.
And he teaches people how to make their own.
So here on our premises, and I'll post the link as well. So the class is filling up. If you want to make sure that you get a spot, click on the link that I'll post here. Caleb, he wrote in a post recently that yeast, you don't get yeast from fermented food. So there is a little bit of controversy there that people get the information wrong. And there's quite a lot of misinformation out there, even about histamines and so on in fermented food. That if you want to hear it from the horse's mouth or from the master himself, please come to the fermenting class. It's really, really world-class standard. And it takes the fear out of fermenting your own foods, and once you know how to ferment your own foods, it's like a total game changer because, for instance, a cabbage that you get off the supermarket shelf, or even a cabbage that you've grown yourself, by the time you cook it, it's lost all its vitamins and minerals, and if you ferment it, you activate the life force again, a new life force starts to happen, and fermented cabbage has something like I think it's 20 times or 200 times the amount of vitamin C. Yeah. And one time Pete and I, we went on a bit of a fast, and so we ate next to nothing, but we ate fermented food, and we tested ourselves every day, and our vitamin C, our body was just flushed with vitamin C.
We were passing it out via our kidneys.
That's right, and it was just from the fermented food. So that's actually reassuring, because we know that vitamin C is a great immune boost, great for your health, to protect you from all sorts of threats that are happening at the moment. My lips are sealed.
There are a lot of threats that you can avoid by keeping your immune system at its strongest, and 80% of our immune system belongs to those good intestinal bacteria. So and that keeps Candida in check in the gut.
I actually did some research, and I wrote that like half a liter, the 500 ml, that's half a liter, I have a blonde moment at the moment. Half a liter of yogurt has around 1.5 trillion beneficial organisms, while half a liter of kefir has got 5 trillion. So, 1.5 trillion compared to 5 trillion living beneficial friendly bacteria that you get from your own milk kefir, right? Plus also the kefir that Love Your Guts produces, they put healthy living bacteria into the bottles, and that's a specific strain that isn't killed by your
it has a
stomach acid.
It has a coating, so it'll get through the stomach.
And so that's really, really good for your children as well. I haven't got a drink here, but you can see it in the supermarket.
Would be the best fresh drink that you could find.
So from the Love Your Guts.
Yeah.
So because they are highly ethical, of course. Anyway, so I would highly suggest that you come to the fermenting class, because it's fun as well, and you get to eat delicious food.
Plus, if you're unsure whether you do have Candida or not, or whether you're querying it, there's strong indicators of it in your live blood when we look at it under the microscope, so we can check whether there's strong indicators.
People love looking at
of Candida.
Live blood.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of confronting and exciting at the same time, and it changes from week to week. Like you'll see changes how you get healthier. And then also, of course, Pete does lots of biomedic testing. That's taking a huge look under the bonnet to see what's going on with your body and to see if you have Candida. By the way, Candida and parasites pretty much always go hand in hand. And we have seen a lot of parasites in people's, evidence of parasites in people's lifeblood recently. So parasites is another word for worms. And those two always go together.
They seem to go hand in hand.
Yeah,
so.
80% of Australians have worms, so it's actually nothing unusual. And symptoms of worms are pretty much the same as symptoms of Candida. And I'll put a questionnaire under this post, so please go ahead and fill in that questionnaire so you get more of a handle on whether you have it or not. But symptoms of worms are also, again, itchy skin, like skin rashes, belly aches that don't go away, headaches that don't go away, low energy, itchy nose, of course, like if people are always going like that. Itchy bum, what else?
Belly aches.
Low energy.
Yeah,
again, also brain fog, because worms release a lot of toxins in your body because they eat you and they poo out worm poo.
And then we absorb that into our bloodstream.
That's right, and we can actually become allergic to that. The worm poo, I'll just call it worm poo. Sometimes people are allergic to that, and it creates all sorts of inflammation. So if you have like any mysterious aches and pains, or your child, and you've been everywhere, I would highly recommend that you come in for a session, or at least treat yourself for Candida and worms. But you can do it anyway, because it's all health boosting, right? It's killing Candida and the worms without harming you. In fact, you're going to benefit from it. So it's really a win-win. So I would do that anyway. Just follow the recommendations that we put here. So
I think that's probably about it.
Yeah, people can often ask us where they get worms from, so I'll tell you that quickly. You get worms from, I'll just say stuff, supermarket trolleys, services, money, just living, being alive, and if your digestion isn't strong. If your digestion isn't strong, the worms are not, or they enter our body and they're not killed.
Or if we're under stress, we don't produce hydrochloric acid, so we won't kill any little living creatures that we might swallow with our food.
Also, apparently we give worms to our pets, and then they can give them back to us. So apparently our pets suffer because we give them the worms, not the other way around. I used to believe that it was the other way around, but actually we get them from our pets. So it's also
give them to our pets.
Yeah, it's good to treat the whole family if you suspect something like this is at play. So also, if you have a stubborn Candida problem, I'll finish with this, and you've already been on a Candida diet and tried everything, you need to come in for a healing session. And then we blast that Candida with energy or energy medicine, because sometimes the Candida is so stubborn that it's literally hijacked your immune system. And your immune system is not even fighting it. So then we have to kind of activate your immune system. And that way you get rid of your Candida pretty quick, smart. We've seen that many times. Hi, Jane, and everyone else. Yeah, happy birthday to Pete.
Yeah, thank you, Jane.
Yeah. Okay, hope you find this information helpful, and share it with everyone if you can, because it is really a hidden threat. It's more, what's the word? It's a bigger threat than terrorist attacks or other things that happen outside our bodies, right? It's happening on the inside, and that's where we need to look first now. So I'm really going to encourage you to do that. And you'll feel so much better within a few days already. Like in the past, people believed it took weeks.
Yeah. People have been on Candida diets for months and months, but the best Candida diet is low carb, high fat.
Yeah,
really.
and the recommendations.
The ketogenic diet.
Yeah, that we put in here. So, and it literally, you might feel a little bit funny for a few days, and then you're on the other side. You're out of it, and that's great. So that's what we want for you.
To digest your fats for fuel, you probably will need beet flow, and we have found people benefit greatly from those 4 products we have in the Ultimate Vitality Boost pack, which is beet flow, Omnizyme, iodine, and probiotic, immunosymbiotic, but the one specifically for Candida is the immune power.
Okay.
Which, yeah.
So thanks for all your birthday wishes. I don't know if Pete can read that fast. maybe he'll learn to speed read now that he is 62 or 26, Pete is saying.
Thank you.
We're pretty happy that, with our lives really, and aren't we, Pete?
Yep.
And that we're getting younger every day.
So, someone asked me the other day how old I was, and I said 26.
I'm happy we're
Backwards.
not 26 anymore, though. I think it's great to be. I'm 58 and Pete's 62. It's really amazing. We have an amazing life now, much better than when we were 26 and 30 or whatever. So hope you enjoy this, and take care. Really, really look after yourself, look after your body, and your body will really thank you for it. Okay? So look forward to seeing you again next week, or maybe see you on the inside in the clinic this week. And big love to you all. See you next week.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.